What do you mean you want me to give up control? Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I am Dr. Santina or Tina Wheat. I'm a family physician, an educator, and a career and life coach who is dedicated to helping healthcare workers conquer their chaos and get to calm. And today, I want to talk about a topic that has certainly challenged me more than almost anything else that I have had to deal with in my personal and professional life, and that's control. As a physician and as an educator and as a mom, control has been both my comfort zone and also my stumbling block. And every time someone told me, oh, just let go, I would feel this pit in my stomach and my shoulders would tense up. And I would think, but I can't let go. I don't know how. If you have ever felt the same way, then this video is for you. I'm going to share why just let it go never worked for me, the big realization that finally shifted things for me, and some simple practices that you can start using right away to feel calmer and more in control of what actually does matter. And at the end, I'll share a free resource that can help you keep building balance in your career, even when so much around you feels unpredictable. So I will never forget when I was still in training and one of my faculty members said to me, I can't wait to see what parenthood does to you. You are not going to be able to have this much control anymore. And I just kind of looked and thought that they didn't know what they were talking about. But the truth was, they were right. Becoming a parent was one of the biggest, most humbling lessons of my life. And I'm sure some of you out there who are parents couldn't agree more. Suddenly, I couldn't control the schedule. I couldn't control whether my baby slept or ate or cried in the middle of the night. I couldn't even control how I felt half the time as I was managing all of that. Parenthood made it crystal clear that no matter how tightly I wanted to hold on, I was never going to be in charge of everything. And as someone who always felt the need to hold on very tightly in order to succeed, that was really hard. And yet, even with that lesson staring me in the face, I still hated when people told me to let it go because I didn't know how. I just couldn't comprehend. When I was overwhelmed or worried, my brain would just keep spinning. I would replay situations over and over and over again ad nauseum. I would imagine the worst case scenarios. I would stress about things long after they had passed, even if they weren't a big deal. And it's not that I didn't want to let them go. I wanted to listen to the advice. It's that I literally didn't know how to or what to do instead. Eventually, though, through trial and error and a lot of frustration, if I'm being honest, I realized something important. The problem wasn't control itself, at least not the way I'm looking at it anymore. The problem was where I was trying to place that control. I was trying to control the wrong things. Here's what I can't control. I can't control other people's responses. I can't control if or when I or my family members get sick. I can't control whether someone else follows through the way that I want them to. I can't control whether I get the promotion or if the article gets accepted because someone else is making that decision. In some of those instances that I gave you, I can do my best to show up in my best possible light, to protect myself, and do everything in my power to have the outcome come my way. But ultimately, I'm not the final decider. But the thing that I can control, even in all of those situations, is how I choose to respond. And I had been told that before about communication. But the idea that I could use that for every scenario, for every response, Not just how I outwardly responded to others, but how I thought about it was a game changer. Think about it. In every single situation, I have options. I can choose to scream. I can choose to cry. I can choose to stew about it and let it live rent free in my head. Or I can choose something else. I can choose to take a breath before I respond. I can choose to wait 30 seconds or even a full day before I reply. I can choose to invite curiosity instead of judgment and ask why a decision was made to gather more information. I can choose to double check my own story. Am I assuming something here that might not even be true? Am I missing part of the bigger picture? And afterwards, I can reflect. I can ask myself, did I respond in a way that aligned with who I want to be, how I want to show up? Is this how I would want to respond again in the future? Being able to go through those steps and think about how I'm going to respond in the moment and in the future, that to me is real control. Now, I want to be honest. Sometimes it feels impossible. Sometimes I am too tired, too hungry, or just too stressed to do those things. So I'm not always good at having that control. But here's the good news. You can build your capacity for it. And for me, the number one way that I learned to do that is with a simple practice. And that was to take a deep breath before I respond. That breath is deceptively simple, but it changes everything. I used to be the person that had to say something immediately. I had to fire off that email. I had to take offense as soon as I read the statement. But then I decided to take that pause. Sometimes it's just a pause, 30 seconds to calm down. Maybe to reread what was sent to me because I misunderstood. Sometimes it's a full day to think before I answer an email. Maybe that gives me time to take a nap or to have something to eat or to work off some of my energy by working out. No matter how long I take in that breath, I'm able to create space. That space allows me to step back, to ask questions, to check my assumptions, and to decide whether I want to repeat old patterns or to try something new. And over time, those breaths really do add up. They build a habit of pausing, a habit of reflecting, and a habit of choosing my response rather than reacting on autopilot. And that, more than anything else, has given me peace. Because here's the truth. In medicine, in leadership, in parenting, so much is outside of our control. And if I spend all of my energy fighting all of those things that are outside of my control, then I burn out. But when I focus on what I can choose, that is where I can find calm. So here's what I want to leave you with. It's not about letting go of control. It's about shifting it from trying to manage everything that's outside of you to choosing how to respond from the inside of you. That is control that no one else can take away. And if this resonates with you, I would love to invite you to go deeper with me in my free on-demand masterclass, Simple Practices to Create Calm in a Demanding Career. In it, I share practical, doable strategies that you can start using right away to free up time, reduce overwhelm, and build balance, even when the system around you isn't changing. The link is down below in the description, and I would love for you to join me there. And then tell me what was helpful and what wasn't. And if this video was helpful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel and share it with a friend who might need this reminder too. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I'll see you next time.